All right, Toughners, welcome back, and we jumping back into the rugged with Vinnie PAZ. This is gonna be fire, man. You know it's gonna be fire. You know what's up. All right, Tough Nerds, welcome back, and we jump back to some more Vinnie PAZ. It's always a doozy. It's always a pleasure to hear some Vinnie PAZ because he's got those rugged bars and that rugged voice that I like to hear in some rap songs, and almost all my rap songs that I love, they have that ruggedness. I love that type of rap. This was actually called Can Be Neutral on a Moving Train. Pretty long title. It was requested a couple weeks back. And it's time to go get back into some more Vinnie PAZ, you know? So, like I said, I like this guy's style. I like that rap style. A lot of my favorite rap songs have that rugged style. You know, taking it back to Wu-Tang. And even like, you know, from the South, Mystic. I think Mystical is from the South, right? Mystical has that crazy, you know, crunk, rugged sound, you know, and Vinnie PAZ happens to have like that rugged street, you know, type of sound, like New York type of sound, you know, and he has some bars. He has some straight bars, some very, I guess you could say, even intellectual bars, man. Spits on fire. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some Vinnie PAZ, man. All right, let me go ahead and organize this real quick. And I got a couple more on the list, right? All right, man, without further ado, follow me on this musical journey. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it.
Lie all the time. Well, not just the American government. It's just in the nature of governments. Well, they have to lie. And since they don't represent the people, and so since they act against the interests of the people, the only way they can hold power is if they lie to the people.
Okay.
The spreading stain of deception. I am cruel to myself.
All right.
If they told people the truth, they wouldn't last very long.
Like I'm telling you, man, has that old school, like New York Killer Army Wu-Tang feel to it, man. I love Vinnie PAZ for that. God of the Serengeti.
Came ashore greeted with nothing but niceness, sailing west in attempt to find golden spices. Dominated by the popes and frenzy for ISIS. The Catholic Church expelled Jews and claimed it was righteous. The first man to see land would get a reward and get a yearly pension for life, clearly from God. A young sailor saw land, said we isn't far. Columbus lied, said he saw it the evening before. They touched ground, they were greeted by the Arawak.
That Columbus bar is fire, bro. You know, Columbus bar taking somebody else's discovery, man, basically.
It was righteous. The first man to see land would get a reward and get a yearly pension for life, clearly from God. A young sailor saw land, said we isn't far. Columbus lied, said he saw it the evening before. They touched ground, they were greeted by the Arawak. Columbus had them locked up as prisoners in an hour flat. He wanted to find a source of gold, and that was that. And when they thought that wasn't fair, then he stabbed their back. When there was no more gold, he took slaves instead and left 250,000 Indians in Haiti dead. The men died in mines, the women died at work, the children.
You see what I'm talking about? Intellectual rap. He's telling you a history story right here. He's telling you the facts about how discovery and what happened for real during that discovery. It's obvious. It's not obvious, but you know, historians know that the West was discovered way before by Vikings and even Chinese. You know, the Chinese were already here way before, if I'm correct. But I'm pretty sure about the Vikings. The Vikings were here way before, and of course, the Native Americans. I mean, how can you discover something with that which has already been discovered by Native Americans, right? So it's pretty interesting how history likes to unfold certain stories and tell certain stories. He didn't discover, he rediscovered something that was already been discovered by other people. And then he did some brutal things, People don't tell that part of the story. And Vinnie PAZ is telling it to you raw, unedited, unabridged, you know? They take that back.
He wanted to find a source of gold, and that was that. And when they thought that wasn't fair, then he stabbed their back. When there was no more gold, he took slaves instead, and left 250,000 Indians in Haiti dead. The men died in mines, the women died at work, the children died from lack of milk, and they died in the dirt. They were just taking advantage of a passive people. They were just being the savages of massive evil. That's the church work, that's the path of massive ego. That's the blood of Abraham being stabbed by the steeple. At 16, 19, they were patiently waiting for a ship to carry slaves that was changing the nation. The white man was a cannibal praying to Satan. Hatred, contempt, or pity, or patronization. That's the cornerstone, everything racism based in. The African had a more advanced civilization. Black was slave master, was white rationalization. 50 million dead, that's Western civilization. At first they appeared in the north, and they were helpless in the face of superior force. And all of them were chained together, they really was lost. Racism isn't natural, it's merely divorce. Before the slave trade, black was considered distasteful. By the Oxford Dictionary, I found it disgraceful. It's not a natural tendency to be bitter and hateful. It's a natural enemy.
This is 7 minutes long. What? Hey, I'm not gonna pause that much anymore. This song is long. Hold up, he's gonna tell the whole History 101 lesson here. It's gonna be good. Let me take this back a little bit more. Pure knowledge. He's spitting pure knowledge. This is good rap, though. You know, pure knowledge. And he's not even going political, right? He's just spitting the facts of history, of how the world was developed, and things that happened, and things that have been covered up by history writers, and giving us the facts of the reality, so you don't have to like sugarcoat certain things. I like that. Let me take this back.
50 million dead, that's Western civilization. At first they appeared in the north, and they were helpless in the face of superior force. And all of them were chained together, they really was lost. Racism isn't natural, it's merely divorce. Before the slave trade, black was considered distasteful. By the Oxford Dictionary, I found it disgraceful. It's not a natural tendency to be bitter and hateful. It's a natural enemy of the critical staple. Slavery grew as the plantation system grew. The reason for that's kinda easily traceable. Society of helpless dependence was capable of saying fuck a slave master, you in slavery too. 7 slaves were put to death for murdering master. Fear of slave revolt had them developing faster. You a Catalan killer, an elegant bastard. I would burn the white man while smelling the ashes. From time to time, white man was part of the resistance. White indentured servants wanted no part of the system. King Philip's War showed that if people would listen, that they could maybe break the complex chain of oppression. Tyranny is tyranny, but that's a concession. But the women, they was treated like that of possessions. Black women had it work cause they was abused. That's the white justification of Aryan blues. The next move was to dominate the Mexicans. James Polk dominated them like they was next to kin. He sent Colonel Cross a lot of them and let them in. 11 days later his skull was crushed, so message sent. We take nothing by conquest, that was the mantra. The military wasn't human, they were just monsters. Henry David Thoreau refused to pay his taxes, denounced the Mexican War and got locked in shackles. The 20th century opened, anger re-emerged. Reality of ordinary life was.
Hey, he's spitting some pure facts, man. He went from fucking slavery he went from the discovery of the false discovery by Columbus of the United States, transition into slavery, of how he managed to transform gold into slavery and slavery into some type of profit. And then it went from the plantations, how plantations helped keep on inducing slavery, right? The plantation system kept on increasing the slavery. And now you're talking about the American-Mexican War. You ever wonder why New Mexico's called New Mexico, bro? Texas, you ever wonder why so many states in the West or in the Midwest have Latin or Spanish names? Spanish names, talk about the Nevada, Los Angeles, New Mexico. Yeah. Think about that. That was fire right there.
Conquest, that was the mantra. The military wasn't human, they were just monsters. Henry David Thoreau refused to pay his taxes, denounced the Mexican War and got locked in shackles. The 20th century opened, anger re-emerged. Reality of ordinary life was being heard. Anarchists and feminists came from factory work. Communism, socialism seemed to be rebirth. War is the health of the state, is what Bourne said. And if you was born around that time, you was born dead. The Espionage Act had people confused. cause it was double talking, they didn't know how it be used. Supposedly it was an act against spying. Du Bois noted that was bullshit and they was lying. Charles Schenck was arrested in Philadelphia for printing and distributing leaflets cause they was helping you. He was indicted, tried and then found guilty, and spent 6 months in jail. Don't that sound silly? Had his freedom taken away by his own nation. But there's a lesson, do not submit to intimidation. The act still exists today and this shit is real. Supposedly Kennedy tried to have that shit appealed. Eugene Debs did 10 years for...
Kennedy tried to have that shit appeal, and then he got appealed permanently. You feel me? Like, this guy's spinning some good stuff,
Lesson, do not submit to intimidation. The act still exists today and this shit is real. Supposedly Kennedy tried to have that shit appealed. Eugene Debs did 10 years for no purpose. He obstructed the recruiting and enlistment service. The post office started taking mail privileges of magazines who printed anti-war sentiments. A socialist named Fairchild had it right. He said that they can shoot me but they can't make me fight. They sentenced him to a year in jail and that was reckless. 65,000 men conscientious objectors. They were sent to army bases to work there. They were treated sadistically and were hurt there. They were strangled with a hemp rope till they collapsed. And officers punched their stomach and their lower back. A garden hose was placed on their face with a nozzle about 6 inches from them so they couldn't swallow. The war ended in 1918. The government was just trying to wipe the slate clean.
Fire, bro,
Hemingway
fire.
wrote Farewell to
bars.
Arms. Dalton Trumbo wrote Johnny Got His Gun. The war was over, but they didn't learn their lesson. Twin tactics of control, reform and repression. The patriotic fervor of war had been invoked. That's why the country that you live in is a fucking joke. You cannot be neutral on a moving train. This is a story about the lies that your teacher told you. This is real, actual, factual. No lies in the whole record. If you don't believe me, look it up. I'm trying to share the shit that I learned with y'all. Do the knowledge. Your government does not care about you. The people in power do not care about you. Understand that.
Nice.
Power to the people.
Hey.
You know, you get high on war. We won. And then you're down on the ground again. And you need another fix. You need another war. Why do you think we've had war after war after war after war? Every war they say, this is the end. This is the last war. In World War I, they said, this is the war to end all wars. And then not long after that was World War II. And then soon the United States was waging war in Korea and then in Vietnam. If you study history, what you learn is that wars are always accompanied by lies. Wars are always accompanied by deception.
Fire knowledge, bro. This is the type of record that we need. The type of music that we need more of about. Open our minds, man. That was crazy. That was some pure knowledge right there. I'm gonna go ahead and listen to that again in a minute, man. That was pure knowledge, information. You could just learn a lot from those 7 minutes and something from that song right there. Like and subscribe, hit that notification button. One love, peace. We're gonna do some more Vinnie PAZ. One love, peace. Keep it real. You know what's up.